All right, we're going to go to Ron Johnson in just a minute. They have called votes on the Senate floor, so this gives me an opportunity to bring up another topic I want to cover. Look, this is Pride Month. Have you noticed everywhere you go, you're choking on rainbows? Well, the left, I believe, has exposed their true colors in their reaction, their histrionic reaction to Florida's parental rights in education bill, which simply requires schools to keep classrooms content age appropriate. This material on LGBTQ stuff, that it can be reviewed by parents. Now, 5 other states already have similar laws, and at least 10 states are considering such measures. Now, these laws are a welcome contradiction to the CDC's federal recommendations, which calls for schools to highlight gender identity and other LGBTQ issues in their sex education programs. And we're finding that many teachers are all too willing to support this, and others are being forced to. And by the way, I've heard from a number of you as teachers some of this material, and feel free to share it with us. And you can do so anonymously, but happy to look into it. And we've looked into several of these. You can always email me at tony@tonyperkins.com. All right, join me now to discuss this is Meg Kilgannon, FRC's Senior Fellow for Education Studies here at the Family Research Council. Meg, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
All right, you know, you always hear these sayings, they've bitten off more than they can chew. This is a bridge too far. So what is this for those that are pushing this agenda? I mean, we see State Farm, we see Pizza Hut. It looks like they may have gone too far because parents and even politicians are pushing back.
Parents are waking up to the fact that there is a long and increasingly growing list of people who want to talk to our kids about sex behind our backs. And this is something that people in the faith community and in conservative politics have been trying to raise the alarm on for many years, and we weren't really taken seriously about it. Now parents see. They see the agenda, and it's really been wonderful to see the pushback, not just among the parents, but among the teachers, as you mentioned. There are many Christian teachers in the schools who do not want to have to go along with this program. So we need to help them.
And yes, we absolutely do. We need to, and we will, and we are. But there's also a Washington element of this with the CDC pushing this radical gender identity to be a part of any and all sex education curriculum.
Right. The guidance coming out of the federal government right now is terrible. It is definitely completely contrary to anybody with a biblical worldview. And unfortunately, too many school administrators are very quick to take that kind of guidance seriously and as some sort of an imperative for them to include in their curriculum, when in fact, school and education is a local matter. It is under the purview of local school boards, and your neighborhood school is supposed to be informed by the values of the people in that community and the parents in that community. So we really encourage parents to push back on this agenda when they find it in their schools, and to just call out the nonsense. You know, there may be all kinds of genders, but there are 2 sexes, and that's what children need to learn about, not the gender nonsense. So,
well, this has kind of really reached a crescendo, a zenith point, when you look at this battle, competition, if you want, over girls' sports.
Right.
Where, in fact, FRC Action had just commissioned a poll. We just got these results last week. 61% of Americans oppose biological males competing in girls' and women's sports. And of course, we asked it in a very straightforward way. That's 6 out of 10 Americans. It's hard to find anything where you would get 60% or more of Americans agreeing on something in this divided nation.
Right, and even a Harvard-Harris poll came back to find 60% of Americans think it's not a good idea for students to choose their own pronouns. So yes, these are overwhelming numbers when you consider how polarized our country has become on these sort of, as they're called, culture war issues. But this isn't a culture war issue. This is a common sense issue. We know that God made men, He made women, and we live together on earth, and we get married and have babies, and the whole thing goes around and around as by His design, His wonderful design. And so the further we get from delivering that message to children and adding the extra information that is really irrelevant to that worldview, the more nonsense children are going to have to sort through, and it's really not fair to the kids.
Well, I'm going to go back to something I say often, and I'm going to continue to say it. It's an issue of parental responsibility. God gave children to parents, and He gave parents responsibility, and He gave them the authority to train up those children. And as I've said before, you can delegate the authority to the local school, to a Christian school, to whomever, but you can never delegate the responsibility. It will be yours. And so I'm encouraged, Meg, I really am, that I see parents, and I know that the day is dark and the hour is late and we see all these bad things happening, but I am encouraged that parents, as you said, are saying enough is enough, and they're standing up. And courage breeds courage. And so when one parent stands up, it's not long until there's another one standing up, and then another one. And we're seeing this all across the country. It's
so true. And we have really great resources at www.frcaction.org/schools. That we have our school board boot camp there, and other videos and information for people who maybe they feel that God's calling them to run for office. Maybe they are wondering what they can do to help the school in their neighborhood. Think about running for school board, and when you are making that decision, check out those resources to see if there's something there that can help you on your way.
Well, and I know those resources are very helpful, because I was reading emails this morning, and one of our listeners emailed in and used the guidance that you provided on the website for Freedom of Information Act request, and we're requesting information from the local school. So it's good material, great resources there at FRC Action. Meg, always great to talk with you. Thanks so much for stopping in today.
Thank you, Tony.